Hello, this is David again. So here, this is video 2 of the What is SEO and How It Works course. Creating all these videos basically for beginners who are maybe just learning SEO, even for veterans who just kind of want to go over some of the basics. So I'm covering, really in this video, I'm going to cover setup of, whether you're in WordPress, system.io, ClickFunnels, Go High Level, whatever the platform. Very similar in the setup and how you add things. Okay, so I've worked with WordPress for a long time, and recently over the past few years with system.io, which I like a lot. So for video number 2, we're going to cover title stuff, which we did in the first video. Okay, as far as keyword research, basics of keyword research. If you have no software, I'm going to show you in a minute how to do that. But here, as you can see, I'm changing this existing post to the new post, and I'm updating it with everything. So for the first thing, right, you want to make sure you have your list of maybe 5, at least I would say 5 keywords you want to use for every blog post. The main one would be obviously your title, and then the different subsets of that particular keyword. And you can find these easily in Google. Of course, if you can use SEMrush, Ahrefs, Moz, all those particular softwares, if you can use one of those, then go for it. That obviously you'll get more data and information from them. Okay, as far as like search volume. So I would recommend that. Any one of those is good. Screaming Frog is a good software that you can use for free as well. That'll help you out a lot. Okay, so here let's start with the basic keyword that I have, the main keyword. You can see I put it in the image. So let's do a quick lesson here for alt tags. So when you click on an image, right, after you add the image to the website, you upload it. Let's say you're in WordPress, you go to the media section on the left margin, upload your image, whatever files you're doing, you can upload in that section. So you're going to add your image, and then wherever it says alt text, text or alt image, whatever it might say, it could be different in different platforms. This is where you're going to put the main keyword for that image, for that blog post. All right. And I'll stick with blog posts here. That's the main term that you're going to use. A blog is a section of a website that has blog posts, right? Different articles on different subjects. So that's what we're doing. So the alt text here, as you can see, I'm just going to put the main keyword all in lowercase. You don't have to capitalize anything. So what is SEO and how it works, step by step beginner's guide. And you might find in certain platforms that there's a limit to how many characters, but if you can fit it all in, and then I'm just going to click save. Make sure you save it. As you go through whatever platform you're in, just make sure you're saving it routinely. Okay, that way things are saved. You don't have to worry about autosave. Obviously, you might have autosave on different platforms, and it may autosave like every 5 to 10 minutes or whatever you set it for. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about anything else showing up. You can obviously use different settings for every blog post, for every page you have on your website accordingly. We don't need to get into that. You can just play with it. What I would advise is, if you're on a new system, whatever it is, just play with the settings. Okay, you can figure it out as you're playing with it. Like here, if I want a link, all right, it allows me. So I got the image here, right? You can click on this little cloud image that'll let you upload the image to your platform, all right, from your computer. I can either have it as an open URL or show as a pop-up. I'm going to do an open URL for the image. So if somebody happens to click on the image by accident or not, then I'm going to you should have a link in every image. It's a good idea. So I'm just going to have them go to the main page, okay, for the website. And I can bring them anywhere. Like, for example, if I wanted to bring them to Instagram for, your social media platforms, nothing wrong with doing that as well. So I just do Instagram.com/longtailscorpion. All right, at least that'll help you get more followers. It's always a good idea to do that, even though it might not be an actual social media icon that you're, linking. Okay, so I'm copy and pasting a lot of the article that I had already created. So here, let me just show you a breakdown of headlines and subheaders with your keywords. Okay, so let's go to Google. All right. Just going to go to google.com. All right. And so for beginners, here is where you can do some basic keyword research as far as what people are searching for according to whatever term you put in. So that will show up in the drop-down menu, drop-down list, just like that. So, and you can see all the stuff I searched for recently, from my church to Marcus Aurelius, etc. So I'm going to search for, what is SEO and how it works. And this will tell you exactly what people are searching for as you type. And of course, it's going to change. So you can see down here, what is search engine optimization and how it works. So if you're a business owner, if you're a beginner in marketing and you're going to school, maybe you're a high school or college student, you really just don't know what SEO is, search engine optimization, or had the need to learn, okay? These are some great basics that you can use to rank on Google. You can use the same principles for YouTube, which basically, if you're ranking a YouTube video, for example, then you're going to get the same properties by going to YouTube. Go to YouTube, the same concept as Google. Put your keyword in the search bar in YouTube. You'd put in what is SEO and how it works. And then you'll see the drop-down list of what people are actually searching for. Yeah, I don't have a search volume, but I still have a great idea of maybe the top 10 related keywords from what I'm searching for. So as you can see, I've got a great list here, and it includes one right there from YouTube, Small businesses. I don't need in Urdu. I don't really need in Reddit. I mean, I can utilize Reddit if I happen to be on Reddit. You want to get that audience in there. You can. Hindi you don't need, but you've got PDF, you've got YouTube, you got 4 small businesses, you got this written out one down here, and you got with examples. So those are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 related keywords that I can use. And then, so what I'm going to do is, let me just get my Galaxy S25 and just take a quick picture of this, just so I have these readily available. Okay, so I have the list that I can just look at. Okay, so those are the 6 that I can use in this article if I want. Now, these are the ones that are searched most often at the top of the list, and these are searched least often of what you type in here as your primary up there. Now, I can keep going and go, what is SEO, how it works, step by step. You see how it comes up automatically because it's just an extension of the larger keyword, the primary that you want to use. And I can stop with guide. Let me see see beginners is in there, so let me see, So I'm going to just click on beginner's guide. And of course, you're going to get all these ads. You're going to get everything there that shows up. But what you want to do is go back into the search text box and click at the end of it, or pretty much anywhere, and they'll show you a drop down of the related search keywords that are related that you can use for your article or social media. Whatever you're doing, you can use it, especially, ranking on Google. Put it in your Facebook post, put it in Instagram, LinkedIn, right? If you want to rank your profiles, you can do that as long as you have enough solid keyword research that you want to put, like I said, a handful. I would say 5 is a good number. Put a handful, 5 to maybe 7 related keywords total, okay, of that primary. So the primary is on the top, right? Secondary keywords are everything else that you use that relates to it, that people are searching for, or it has a form of the primary keyword in it. Okay, so all these are pretty much related to those two ideas, right? I got SEO Beginner's Guide, PDF. I'm going to just take another pic so that way I can access these and even, utilize these images if I want. That goes right to my Google Photos. So, SEO Beginner's Guide. So here's another group that I can use from what I searched for earlier with what is SEO and how it works. Now I've got the entire primary keyword. So this entire primary keyword I want to rank for, right? So I can utilize these different ones, how to do SEO. So you want to put these secondary keywords in the article as you're writing it, in headers and randomly where it applies in the article, right? You don't want to, one thing you don't want to do is spam your article, or there's another term that I can't think of right now, but you don't want to saturate your article with too many keywords. It's just going to not be readable. You want to make sure it's readable, a real, where, somebody can go there and read it and, like a 5th grader and understand it for the most part. Obviously certain terms, certain people won't understand, but that's beside the point, right? So you want to make it readable. Don't saturate it too much, right? You can use the keyword 10 to 20 times, different keywords in the article, as long as it's relatable and sounds good, right? In the article. It depends how long the article is. Your article might only be 500 words. You can write articles. I've seen articles online that are over 2,000 words, right? So it just depends. I would say for every 1,000 words, you could use 10 keywords, okay? That's a good rule that I've always used, and it's always worked well, okay? So if this article, depending on how long it is, I'm just going to assume it's about 1,000. I just don't know what the word count is. But I'm going to get, if it's longer, I'm going to get extra ones. But here, I've got, obviously, this is the main keyword that's in the title, right? So that's right here, okay? And I can even take out A. Don't have to have that there, okay? And I'm just clicking in the text box, and just, editing. That's all it is, right? You can drag and drop different things, text, headlines, bulleted list, right? Is good. I would always add a bulleted list, and then you can kind of move things around. If I want to, maybe move this image, I can just click the arrow here, right? And it goes right under the title. That's always a good setup, right? Let's say I didn't have this image with the title there. I would use this image as the main image up there, right? But since that's already there, I'm just going to leave it. It's not too much of a big deal. And I showed you before in the settings that I changed certain things, right? So here, I'm adding social media SEO tips there. I don't necessarily have to, but social media has been a big part of SEO for the last, decade, probably 2 decades now, right? Since I've been in it. Because a lot of SEO properties or platforms, I should say, channels rank on Google, like YouTube videos, right? You can rank a YouTube video on Google search as well as YouTube search if you want, right? So that's why I put SEO social media there. But I can easily change that if I want. Let's say I want to use something different, like let's see here, like an example, that this search engine optimization example, I could use that, or SEO guide for beginners, right? Let me just show you a different avenue, just kind of thinking outside the box. You want to kind of don't complicate stuff, right? Make it easy enough to use your keywords throughout your article that apply to the article, right? So Google's going to crawl it and examine what keywords you have in there and make sure it's related to the topic, okay? So I can put SEO guide for beginners. Let me use that and watch what I'll do. Okay, so I'm utilizing the keyword SEO guide for beginners because I know that's one of my secondary keywords I want to utilize, right? And just putting it in a subheader. This would be called a subheader. Basically, everything besides the title would be called a subheader, right? They got header 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are basically the numbers for headers, right? Especially if you're in WordPress. But a lot of the platforms have those numbered where it'll be H1, H2, H3, and so on. Okay? So yeah, this is the main title that's in the settings, but I can't readily edit this. Okay? So that's why I'm using the title here. And I'm going to put it correctly. Actually, I don't need to. So let me just show you basically what I did. What is SEO? How it works? A step-by-step beginner's guide, right? That could be I can take the A out later if I want. And just go here and just, let's see. I think I took it out already. I did take it out. So let me just save that. Okay. So that will should save and change. I just got to reload the page. So anyway. So I'm going to use a different form of that main title. Okay, so Google, when it crawls this article, is going to crawl this title, right? So when you go to settings, and again, this is system.io. When you go to settings, this is the main title that Google is searching. This is the description of the page, making sure it relates. So it's just utilizing the keywords in there and just explaining it, very simply. And then the URL path. I don't want to make it too long, but as I said before in that first video, right, I had started with what is SEO and how it works guide, I believe is what I had, right? But I took out the 2-letter words. So that's just remember that big tip. When you're doing URL paths, you can take out those small words. You don't need it in the URL path. You want to make the URL as short and relatable as you can while utilizing the the primary keyword for the article, okay? So that's why I shortened it and just put what SEO, how it works, and I can do something like if I want to add beginners, right? I can do that because that uses another main word in that primary keyword instead of using is and it, right? Which are just those articles, that pronouns or whatever you don't need. The verbs, those small words you just don't need. Okay, so I can stick with that. It's fairly long. Yeah, I mean it's probably longer than I would want it. What SEO, how it works, beginner's guide. But you can use URL shorteners. You can use Bitly and all those other URL shorteners to, if you're posting online and, you don't want to add this entire URL there, right? Because it's longer. But I'll utilize that for now. I think I'll just stick with that. That's fine. As far as being able to help rank that URL, help rank the article. Okay. So I showed you the title. I showed you the image alt text, right? Is right there. And then the subheaders. Okay. So now you want to put in your entire article. If you're doing this as part of the lesson and you have your own WordPress website or system.io or whatever it is, put in the article and make sure you've got enough of those secondary keywords. So I'm going to go through the article now. I'm going to add SEO Beginner's Guide PDF. I'm going to add that in there with a link for somebody to download the PDF of the article. Okay. You can also add an email opt-in, another great little trick to build your email list. In this particular case, for building an email list, you can add your email opt-in form somewhere, in the page where people just enter either a name, email address, or just an email address to get the PDF of every article you write, and just have them pushed to a specific newsletter, or email campaign that you write on the topic, right? So just to give you an idea how I would do that, if you were building your email list from your blog post, your if you're a blogger or whatever, you just have your business website, put your email opt-in on each page I'd like to use name, first name and email address, but email address is workable as well. And then, for example, I'm creating an SEO E-course. That's going to be like a 30-day SEO course that you can opt into and get the emails as the course, right? So I could funnel everybody who opts in to download the PDF to be put into that list for the e-course. And obviously, you tell people what you're doing on the form, right? And just explain, you'll have the option to go into this list. You get the e-course, download the PDF right away. You'll get the link, and obviously you can unsubscribe anytime, that kind of thing. Whatever email campaign you have, you can always people can always unsubscribe. They should have that ability to do that for your email campaigns. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end off this video. We've been long enough on this video number 2 for the what is SEO and how it works course. What I'm going to do is add all the keywords, the secondary keywords. I'm going to finish the article, and then the next video number 3, is I'm going to show you the article completed or close to completed with all the secondary keywords, and I'll show you what I do and how I set that up. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to go to longtailscorpion.com. I'm going to have the homepage links actually to the digital marketing course. I have a marketing mastery course as well as a Viral Vaults social media course with MRR. So that's a master resell rights. Okay, so I'm going to have those links set up on the homepage shortly. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.